There's been a lot of hype on mini twists being the best protective hairstyle now, and a lot of people are jumping into the trend without knowing the simple and basic things. I've been using mini twists and braids to grow my hair, so have a lot of information I want to share about this. So this video is going to be a detailed one, giving you pros and cons in using mini twists and braids to grow your
I
natural
started
hair.
using mini twist as my main protective hairstyle because of so many reasons. One being that I was using braids as a protective hairstyle, thinking it was a protective hairstyle. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is what is actually a good protective hairstyle. If a hairstyle is not protecting your hair, it is not a protective hairstyle. People tend to misunderstand hairstyles and protective hairstyle. You can try so many hairstyles, whether that is braids, whether that's sewing, adding extensions to your hair, doing wigs, anything can be a hairstyle. But that's what differentiates with a protective hairstyle. If the hairstyle is easy to install, doesn't require so much manipulation, doesn't break your hair, doesn't cause tension on your scalp, and actually grows your hair and helps you to retain length, that is a good protective hairstyle. So I'm going to talk about the things that you need to know for you to actually pick the right protective hairstyle for your hair, because I made so many mistakes with using braids on my hair thinking they were actually protective hairstyle, because a lot of people spoke about how using braids on their hair actually grew their hair, but it's not working for you. So I'm going to explain why that
Hair
is.
density, hair thickness. If your hair is constantly breaking in a protective hairstyle, most likely you do not know what your hair thickness or hair density is. I'm going to explain how knowing this information will put you on the right track to picking the right protective hairstyle for your hair. So when it comes to hair density refers to the number of hair strands per square inch of your scalp. It can be categorized as low, medium, or high density, with high density meaning you have more hair follicles and more visible volume. You can determine your hair density by examining how visible your scalp is when your hair is parted, or by measuring the circumference of your ponytail. So, how do you understand this? I'm just going to explain it for you. So, when it comes to density, it can be a low, medium, or high density. And with this, it's just basically the amount of hair you have on your hair. So when it comes to hair thickness, is how thick your hair strands are. So you can have a low density and have thick hair strands. You can have high density and have fine hair strands. So that's how you should understand this. So when it comes to your hair strands or your hair thickness, if you have thick hair strands, when you're adding extensions to your hair or you're using extensions as a protective hairstyle, they can be working for you because simply your hair is thick and it can hold on to that weight. But if you have fine hair strands, that means it means that any added weight on your hair can cause your hair to break. Like your hair is prone to breakage. So any form of tension, over manipulation can simply cause your hair to break off. So if you've ever added extensions to your hair and you left it and suddenly your hair falls off, that means the weight of the extensions is too much for your fine hair. So when it comes to my own hair, I have medium density and fine hair strands. So with that, I was able to understand that extensions simply would not work for me. Added weight to my hair would cause my hair to break and would cause stagnant growth or even cause my hair to be shorter. So I noticed that my hair growth journey was a lot more difficult and so slow because I was simply doing the wrong protective hairstyle. So you need to do research on your hair density and your hair thickness. Knowing this one information alone can make you understand your hair better, pick the right protective hairstyle, and also be able to take a step forward in your hair growth journey. So, with that, I came up with hairstyles I can do to my hair that do not require extensions. I have so many videos on my channel explaining the hairstyles I've been doing, what I've used, and what works for fine hair. So if you want more of that video, I'll link them for you, and you can just simply subscribe to my channel to see all those videos, or make sure to link them so that I can also check them out. But in this video, I'm going to talk about twist and braids mainly, because this has been my main go-to protective hairstyle that has helped me to retain so much length. So that leads to the next question: why braids and twists? Like, what is so special that makes it work? Because a lot of creators have been coming forward with what actually grew their hair, and everybody's talking about mini twists, talking about braids, like that's what they're using. And people think like, how, like, what is making it so special? I've been doing that, like, I've been doing something like that. Like, what am I doing wrong? I'm simply doing mini twists, I'm simply doing braids. Why am I not still not retaining length? When it comes to protective hairstyles, there are simply things I would not compromise on, and that is my routine. If I cannot do my routine on my hair, it's not a good protective hairstyle. When people tag protective hairstyles, they think, oh, I'm getting a break from my natural hair, which is not supposed to be so. When it comes to protective hairstyles, you should be able to still continue with your hair routine. One thing about natural hair, it loves routine, and that is why braids and twists simply works, because you're not adding extensions to your hair. It's simply your natural hair, and you can carry on with your routine as you want. So when it comes to me doing braids and twists, is because I can simply wash my hair every other week and carry on with my moisture routine in between. So my hair is not dry, my hair is not neglected, and when I'm taking down that protective hairstyle, I wouldn't see my hair breaking off. Routine is very important. If you do not carry on with your routine in a protective hairstyle, when you're taking it down, your hair is simply going to be breaking so much, and that's because natural hair thrives with moisture. If your hair is left dry, the first thing that happens is that you start to develop split ends, and once they run through the length of your hair is going to be breaking at multiple points, which can cause your hair to be damaged. You have scanty ends, and honestly, your hair won't be healthy. And healthy hair leads to a longer and stronger hair. So if your hair is breaking at multiple points, your hair will look so damaged, and it will just simply not look nice. So that's why braids and twists are special. Another reason is that it's simply a low tension hairstyle. When it comes to picking the right protective hairstyle, one thing you should try and look out for is tension on your scalp. That is what can cause your hair to break. Over manipulation in installing a hairstyle, over manipulation in taking it down, simply takes away from that protective hairstyle, because it will cause your hair to break so much. The reason why braids and twist work is because it's very easy to put in and very easy to take down. Another tip I'm going to give to you guys is learning to make your hair yourself. Nobody is going to be as careful as you when it comes to doing your own hair. So if you want to reach your hair goals, only you can understand that better. The time, the effort you're putting into your hair, you will be more gentle and careful with your hair. So because of that, that's why twist and braids work, because it's a low tension hairstyle. If you've ever wondered whether you want to do braids or mini twist as a protective hairstyle, this should be your sign, because I've been able to see progress in my length retention since I started doing this a year plus. It's been a year and a half now. It's been a year and a half of doing this, and honestly, I can say that this has worked for my hair. This is something I wish I knew starting out my hair journey years ago, because I've been backtracking. Like, I will take one step forward and three step back with every protective hairstyle I put on my hair. It only takes one protective hairstyle for you to backtrack in your hair growth journey. So that's why I always say that you do not need to make the mistakes yourself. Learn from others and make that change to your hair, because I've been able to see my hair grow, retain more length, become healthy, stronger, just by simply using braids and mini twists as a protective hairstyle. So if you're hesitant about this is something that you want to do. Another thing that most creators have been talking about is this one thing. Most people do not get this, so I'm going to explain this in detail how I was able to do this, because you can be doing braids and twist as a protective hairstyle, but it's not going to be working for you, or it's not going to work as fast as you want it to. So this one thing is a key lesson you need to actually practice in your hair journey or your hair routine. So how long should you keep your protective hairstyle? This particular question is not asked or answered a lot, because when it comes to your hair growth cycle, your hair grows half an inch to an inch every single month, or if you have genetics working for you, you can actually get more. But if you're working with half an inch or an inch every single month, and you're taking down your protective hairstyle every single month, or you're switching up your hairstyle every single 3 weeks or like 2 weeks, how are you going to retain length? When the talk about manipulation comes in and breakage, these two work hand in hand, because if you're increasing your hair manipulation a lot, your hair is breaking more than it's growing. So if you're switching up your hairstyle, because there is no way you're taking down your hair, you're changing your hairstyle,
you're doing something to your hair that your hair is not breaking in some way, or your hair is not like shedding, over shedding, or like something is going to come out from your hair. Just for example, now, if your hair is out, like your hair is left out, and you run your fingers through your hair, something is definitely going to come out, whether that is shedded hair or hair breakage. So you need to actually minimize manipulation on your hair, and the only way you're going to do this is with long-term protective hairstyle. So I've been able to do 1 month in a protective hairstyle, 2 months in a protective hairstyle, 3 months in a protective hairstyle, and even 4 months. And I can confidently say that the sweetest spot that has worked well for me is 3 months. So if you're thinking that is such a long time, actually it's not. Can you imagine only detangling your hair 4 times in a year? Do you know the amount of hair you're going to retain, like the amount of breakage you're going to prevent simply just by doing this? And that's what I've been doing for a year plus now. I've been doing my 3 months hair growth challenge, and that's how I've been able to retain so much length. Like you can obviously see the evidence, the clips I put from my hair, how it was looking last year, April, March, and how my hair is currently looking now. Is simply because I was consistent with doing this thing. When it comes to keeping your protective hairstyle, I was someone that would switch up their hairstyle every single 3 weeks, like 3 weeks a month. I'm on to the new hairstyle, and it made me realize that my hair was stuck at a particular length for such a long time. Even though I was consistent with my routine, doing my treatments, making sure I'm careful, detangling carefully, my hair was simply still breaking because of the amount of times I'm detangling, I'm over manipulating my hair. So there are so many things that you can test, like try and error. I have like so many videos on this. You can definitely check them out and subscribe to get updated on my 3 month hair growth challenge and everything I do in between, because I'm currently done with the third challenge for this year. So I'm moving over to the fourth one for this year. So this will be the best time to subscribe so you can watch what hairstyle I'm going to do next, because I do hairstyles that are fine hair friendly, and I also show ways I can prevent frizz for like the first month and a half to last, make my protective hairstyle last longer before I switch to wigs or hair scarves. So yeah, so that is the answer to the question of how long should you keep your protective hairstyle. So that moves over to your takedown process. This is the last step in your protective hairstyle, and it's very important because if you do not do this correctly, you're going to experience so much breakage. When it comes to your takedown, it requires patience and time, so you need to clear your schedule. This is not something you would do in a rush. I like to do my takedown process in like days, because anytime I get tired, I know I'll get frustrated and take it out on my hair. So when I get tired, I simply just twist up my hair and wait till the next day or when I'm ready to take it down. I do not rush this process, and I make sure that whenever I'm doing it, I'm in a good mood, I have a good show on, so that I can take my mind off the takedown process. So when it comes to your takedown, first thing you will need is a good product that has a good sleep. And one thing I use is flaxseed gel. I started using flaxseed gel, and it's something that I would always recommend because it has such a good sleep. A conditioner can be your go-to, but when it comes to your flaxseed gel, like it has more sleep compared to a conditioner. If you do not have a flaxseed gel or a conditioner, the next thing you can use is water. Water is also something you can use to take down your hair. So when it comes to your takedown process, you have to be careful, and with that, do gentle detangling. I always detangle with my fingers. I make sure that I can feel the knots and I can take them out, and I can take them out carefully compared to a detangler which can yank on my hair and cause my hair to break. One thing we're trying to avoid is our hair breaking, and using your fingers to detangle has worked so well for me. Another thing is that make sure you are walking in sections. When it comes to detangling your hair, if you do not put your hair back in a section, because of how curly our hair is, it can easily revert and cause knots and tangles, and you now have to detangle again. So make sure that when you're detangling, you're putting your hair back in a section. So with every protective hairstyle, there's always a pro and cons to everyone, even regardless of how good they are. So I'm just going to run through a few things I've noticed while doing braids and mini twists as a protective hairstyle. The first thing with braids is that it's best for moisture retention. I've noticed that when I'm using braids as a protective hairstyle, I retain more moisture compared to twist. I think it's because of how the braids are tightly like packed. Like when you're making your braids are tightly packed, so your moisture can hold more in those braids compared to twists that loose, so you can easily lose the moisture. Another thing is that another pro is that your takedown process is easier. I've taken down my hair with mini twists and braids, and one thing I would always go for is braids. Like taking down braids is so much easier compared to taking down twists. Like, have you ever taken down mini twists? Oh my god, it can be so annoying. Braids is so much easier and it's a breeze. So that's the pro for using braids. One con I would say is that your hair is going to be scanty. If you have fine hair, you would understand this particular dilemma. Your hair will be so scanty. I do not feel as confident taking out my braids just like that and walking around compared to twists. Braids are so scanty, especially if you have fine hair. If you have fine hair, you will understand how scanty braids can look. That's the only negative thing I'll have to say about braids, which is not like a negative thing, but that's one thing I would say that I've noticed when it comes to braids. Let me know in the comment section what your pros and cons are with braids, because I'm sure some of you have been using it as a protective hairstyle. I would like to know your thoughts on it, especially when it comes to different hair types and hair density. Yeah, I would love to know more on that. So for twist, the first pro I'm going to say is volume. I love, love, love my hair in mini twists, and that's the reason why I've been doing mini twists more compared to braids. Braids are honestly better, but mini twist, the volume I get from it is you cannot compare it. I have fine hair, and this is how my fine hair looks in mini twist, and you cannot tell me you cannot love this. I love how my hair looks, and one thing about twist is that it gets cuter when it gets frizzy. So that's another pro I'm going to call. Like that's another pro for me because I love when my twists are frizzy. It looks like I have locks on. It just makes my hair look so cute, and it depends on how you style it also. So those are my two pros when it comes to using mini twist as a protective hairstyle. So the con I'm going to give is that mini twists can unravel so much, especially on your ends. Any routine you're doing to your hair, anytime you wash your hair or do your moisture routine, trust me, you're probably twisting back up like 5 twists because it unravels so much, especially as it gets older. It just simply unravels. Last thing I'm going to talk about is your takedown. Mini twist, like I spoke about it, the takedown process on mini twist, honestly, you have to prepare yourself mentally for it. That's the reason why I took a break from mini twists, because my last twist and takedown process actually drained me, and I was like, if I do this again, I will take it out of my hair so bad. So I decided to take a break from anything mini, and now I'm doing medium braids as my protective hairstyle because mini twist has to take a break. The longer you get in mini twist, like the longer your hair gets, the longer it takes to do mini twist. And when I started doing mini twist, my hair was very like, no, I won't say it was very short, but it was shorter compared to now. So it takes twice the amount of time to take my hair, to make my hair, because I make my hair myself. Takes twice the amount of time to make my hair, and like 3 times or 4 times the time to take it down, because when it comes to twist, you have to unravel the twist, unravel another twist, and it's a lot. So yeah, that's the reason why I took a break from mini twist. But on its own, it's a very good protective hairstyle if you do it correctly. So if you're not doing mini twist correctly, you would experience more damage. So you need time, patience, and effort when it comes to mini twist. And that's the end of this video. I really hope this was helpful. You've learned one or two things with this video. And if you're considering using braids or mini twist as a protective hairstyle, I highly recommend them. And I hope I give it more information and also give you understanding on protective hairstyle, things you need to understand about it so that I can start making the right effort to having a healthy, longer hair and reaching your hair goals. So if you have any follow-up questions concerning anything I've mentioned or just anything or any issues you have in general, you can leave that in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer that. And do not forget to subscribe because we're starting a new hair growth challenge soon. I should be updating you guys on the previous one. So more updates on this last challenge were coming off. So I'm going to do my takedown process, my last wash day, also doing my new protective hairstyle, and also a recap on the last hair growth challenge because I always do a recap. So a lot of videos are coming out concerning my 3 month hair growth challenge. So this is the best time to subscribe so I get all the information on it. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Love you guys and bye.